I'm going to talk with you a little bit about the three legs of science. And as a pre-service teacher, this was an entirely new concept for me. I really had not heard of the three parts that go together for that. The first is science content, the second is the science process skills, and the third is the nature of science. In my experience with the CLC Club, with the Ladybug Club, I was able to integrate all three of the legs of science, which I found really helped me provide a more well-rounded lesson for the kids. And it also helped me in my approach in planning the lesson, implementing the lesson, and reflecting afterward on what went well and what could go better the next time. In terms of content, I knew that for the kindergarten, first grade age group, I needed to keep the science content very basic, very fundamental. So the focus of my lesson was habitat, and I narrowed that down to just 4 elements of a habitat. And because kindergarten, first graders are very literal in their expressive and receptive language, I kept the content words very literal as well: food, water, shelter, and space. For process skills, I was able to integrate 2 different parts of that. That included discussion and inquiry. I began by reading a nonfiction picture book called Are You a Ladybug? This really helped introduce some of those basic terms of habitat. And it was kind of an entryway for the kids to start forming questions, making predictions, telling what they already know, and introducing them to terms that they weren't familiar with. So that really was the gateway to the lesson. It helped me approach the kids with questions and some critical thinking that they may not have otherwise associated with a habitat, and which led on to the hands-on part of our process skills. We were able to go outside and they could interact with nature, select items to create their own model habitat. And that was very nice to have a segue from the discussion and inquiry out to the hands-on activity. So the process part was very successful in our Ladybug lesson. The last leg in the 3 legs of science is the nature of science. This was very unfamiliar to me as well. What it boils down to is, what do we know and how do we know it? And so for kids, that's a way to take information that they learn, and then if they come up with answers, how do they know that? How can they prove that? So they're looking at evidence and reasoning. It's not just answer or question, answer, and leave it blank. They get to have some higher level thinking involved, even at the kindergarten stage. The part of our lesson that integrated nature of science was when they were able to take the information and generalize it to other animals, to humans. They could take questions like, what if all of the parts of the habitat aren't present? Do humans need all of those elements? If all living things need these elements to survive, then ladybugs must also need them to survive because they are living things. So even at the kindergarten, first grade level, I found these kids are able to take fundamental ideas, turn them into critical thinking, higher level thinking, and apply them to communicate their ideas about science.